So my name is Smruti Vidwans, and I am the chief scientist of CollabRx, where I interface with scientists, medical experts, engineering, and our customers to make sure we're translating appropriate knowledge into software tools and making sure we're interfacing with our customers and providing them with the solutions they need.
The University of California, San Francisco is renowned for training world-class scientists, but its alumni move into sectors and fields that are far more diverse than academic research, fields that are crucial to advancing health worldwide. New UCSF initiatives seek to highlight the breadth of careers that PhDs move into and to better prepare students and postdocs for the opportunities available to them. Smruti Vidwans is making a difference. Since her first experiment, she has been impatient to advance the field of cancer research and has shed light at each step along her way. A graduate of the Genetics, Developmental, and Molecular Biology program at the University of California, San Francisco, Smruti has learned through science that there are many ways to save a life. This is her story.
My family is full of engineers, so we don't have any scientists. We actually don't even have any doctors in our family. I grew up in India, and I came to the US to go to college at MIT. And I came wanting to do what everybody else at MIT wants to do, which is major in engineering or physics. And I started doing lab work in a biology lab as a job. It was part of paying for my tuition or living expenses, really. And I started doing research because I got interested in that while I was in the lab. So I had no intention, absolutely, or interest for that matter, in biology. It just happened to be somewhat accidental. It was being able to do experiments. I was in a bacterial lab, which is they divide every 20 minutes. You could think of an experiment, you could ask a question, you could formulate a study, and the next day you would have a result. And that was just incredibly powerful. I mean, what else, what other field could you be in where you could do that? It really was very rare. I'd actually never heard of DNA when I started in this lab, and my advisor, to his credit, said, you can start doing research in my lab, but in the fall, this is my sophomore year, you have to take an intro-bio class. And so that's how I got started in biology. I actually had applied to several schools from college. I went to, Stanford and Harvard and Caltech and Berkeley. I visited them all when I got in, and I came to UCSF, and it was just a completely different world. It was a much more honest place, and it was also not just honest about the science, but really honest about them and their colleagues. It's a really special place. So it was towards the end of my PhD, and I was thinking about how the work that I was doing, and not just the specific work that I was doing, but the field that I was in, which is cell cycle, cell duplication, could help patients. Because it's a really unique field, because if you think about all the grant writing we do or all the publications we write, if you read at the introductory paragraph, it's always about this is relevant to cancer. And it is. And yet, what the work we do doesn't really impact cancer in any direct way. It may impact cancer 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line, maybe. So that to me was too long of a time for my work to have an impact. Going back to this impatience, 20 years was just a really long time. The other thing that I think was probably more important was the realization that there's no guarantee that me or really anybody else at any of these top institutions would deliver the breakthrough that would help, drive better patient care. So by being in an academic lab, I was counting on myself to make that breakthrough that could help patients. But by being on the business side of things, I could take the breakthroughs wherever they came from and then translate that into helping patients. So CollabRx has had a very interesting history just as a business, but in the past couple of years, I think we've made a really big stride in the industry. And so The products that we currently offer have to do with matching cancer patients to drugs based on their genetic and molecular profile. I'm actually, very happy I'm there. I mean, I didn't start off as a chief scientist in this company. And now I'm at the place where I have my own science team. I have had it for a while, a few years, and we direct their efforts. I work very closely with our chief operating officer, our head of engineering, our VP of business development, or CEO, because really my role is not just to direct the science team, but to make sure we're, talking to our customers, giving them the right message, talking to our experts. So I'm really happy because I'm at the place now where I'm really at the nexus of a lot of different efforts. What I love about the investigative part is to say that what we have, if you think about life in general, I mean, it's fascinating that it works the way we do. If you think about all the things that could go wrong, it's fascinating that we have 6 billion people on this planet, that reproduction works, and then you create kids that look generally like you or a lot of trouble. And so even though there's a lot of problems, there's something that's working. And so what is it, really? How is it that a cell knows to create a cell exactly like it? What are the mechanisms by which that works? What are the connections? And that to me is incredibly fascinating. From a scientific perspective, you can actually ask these questions. Really, you can ask questions and you can design experiments that will help you test your hypothesis. And it's an incredibly powerful way to really learn about, maybe it's yourself, maybe your surroundings, and to get answers on a time scale where you can take that knowledge and translate that into better experiments or helping patients or what have you.